Yesterday, I went and I did an ADOS test, and an ADOS test is an autism diagnostic something or other. I don't know what the rest of the letters mean. And I have self-diagnosed as autistic years ago, and I made a vow to myself that I would figure out a way to either get the money or have the resources with the support of God to get a formal diagnosis, because my life has been nothing but chaos for the last 4 years. And my perspective is that it has to do with my undiagnosed autism, my complex PTSD, my ADHD, and the fact that I was in an abusive relationship that really messed with my mental health and caused me to regress. So after a long time, I finally am going and doing the process. So I'm really proud of us, Charm. And so this week was a big deal, and it's so in line with the lessons of week 3, reclaiming a sense of power, because to be able to be professionally diagnosed is a return of power in a way. It's like somebody finally believes me, and it's a series of tests that we have to do. And yesterday was the first one. And hold on, I gotta show you something. There's this thing that's called the GARS3, and it's part of assessing the autism. This is what it looks like. And it has different sections that could be, it has different sections of questions that are for assessment of autism. And the first section is restricted and repetitive behavior. Social interactions is the second one. Social communication, emotional responses, cognitive style, and maladaptive speech. I scored the highest on social communication, emotional responses, and social interactions. And when I read these questions, I started to almost cry, because as I'm reading it, I'm coming to the conclusion, wow, I'm autistic AF. It's very affirming to me as I'm reading it. We're gonna find out in about 2 months, because it's a series of 4 different assessments that I have to do, and collectively it makes the whole autism assessment. And here's an example of the questions. So for social communication, you have to pick between 0 and 3, 0 being the least likely that you do this, and 3 being dead on you do this. And number 1 was responds inappropriately to humorous stimuli. I know I'm pursuing comedy, but I don't always laugh at the punchline. Comedy had to be broken down to me for me to understand how it functions. And that's also an autistic trait. Has difficulty understanding jokes. Again, the irony of being a comedian, that just because I have difficulty doesn't mean that if you explain it to me, then I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. And now I know the pattern. Now I know when to laugh. Anyway, so has difficulty understanding slang expression. Has difficulty identifying when someone is teasing. A part of the reason why I was in an emotionally abusive relationship was because I couldn't tell when they were being sarcastic, when they were disrespecting me in my face. I have had this issue all my life. Reading social cues is difficult for me. But if it's explained to me, then I get it. So, has difficulty understanding when he or she is being ridiculed, has difficulty understanding what causes people to dislike him or her, fails to predict probable consequences in social events, doesn't seem to understand that people have thoughts and feelings different from his or hers, doesn't seem to understand that the other person doesn't know something. I got a 3 across the boards on all this. So we are autistic AF, and it's very affirming, and I've been crying a lot. But this is part of the new journey. This is part of the rebuild. This is a part of recovery, right? Is being able to tend to my inner artist, who happens to be a highly gifted, highly intellectual, multifaceted autistic child, and that's okay. So yeah.